Madam, can you tell me what happened? Why did you kill the man? The journalist asked. Joy was in tears. She had been accused of murder. The journalist wanted to question her about the unfortunate incident to get her statement, as the man she was accused of killing was an influential businessman. Joy began to narrate her story to her from the beginning. Once upon a time, in a small bustling city, lived a young woman named Joy. Joy is married to Mr. Edmund. They had a daughter named Nikki. Edmund was a businessman. He lived comfortably with his wife and daughter. One day, Edmund took ill. The sickness was very serious. He was rushed to the hospital by his wife, Joy. Joy was crying bitterly. She didn't want anything to happen to her husband. The doctor was already in the ICU commencing treatment on Mr. Edmund. Joy was outside the ICU pacing back and front. Some minutes later, the doctor came out. Joy rushed to him. "Doctor, what is wrong with my husband? Is he going to be all right?" The doctor was looking quite sad. He said to Joy, "I'm so sorry, madam. We did all we could, but unfortunately, he passed away." "What are you saying, doctor? No. My husband cannot die, doctor. What are you even saying?" Joy said, crying bitterly. "I'm so sorry, madam. There was nothing we could do." The doctor said and left. Joy cried bitterly. She felt that her world has crumbled. She returned back home to her daughter. Nikki came out to meet her mother. "Where is Dad?" Nikki asked her mom. Joy tried controlling herself from breaking out in tears. She said to her daughter softly, "Your dad has gone to meet God." Nikki tried to ask further questions when Joy stopped her and told her to go to her room while she made dinner for both of them. Few weeks later, the burial arrangements and the burial of Mr. Edmund was concluded. Joy and her daughter Nikki returned home to the city. Joy was moving on slowly with her life and taking care of her only daughter. Few days later, Edmund's two brothers came into Edmund's house. They accused Joy of killing their brother and threatened to make life miserable for her if she didn't leave the house with her daughter. Joy, with a teary eye, said, "I did not kill my husband. Why would you guys accuse me of killing my husband? And where will me and my daughter go? This is my husband's house, and we won't be going anywhere." Chike insisted that she must leave the house that day with her daughter. He went in and brought out their bags and threw them away. Joy and her daughter Nikki wandered the streets with nowhere to go. It was getting dark already. They needed a place to spend the night. Joy came across an uncompleted building. She went inside with her daughter Nikki. Nikki was already crying as she hasn't eaten anything since they were thrown out of the house. Joy tried convincing her daughter to try and manage till the following morning so that she can find something for them to eat. Nikki managed and slept. Joy was awake, watching her daughter sleep. She said to herself, "God, why is this happening to me? What has my life turned into? Me and my daughter, homeless. No, someone should wake me up from this nightmare," she said with tears dripping from her eyes. The next morning, Joy and her daughter Nikki went out in the streets to hustle for food, leaving their bags in the uncompleted building. Joy started selling oranges in the streets. she hugged day and night to feed she and her daughter. The uncompleted building was now their home. One day, Joy fell sick due to stress. Nikki took care of her. She bought drugs from a local medicine store to try revive her mom, but she was getting worse. She walked along the street, crying, when a car stopped by. The young man from the car approached her. He asked Nikki why she was crying. Nikki told him that her mother is dying as she had been very sick. The young man opted to help her. Nikki was happy. She took the man, whose name was Steve, to where her mother was. She was taken to the hospital. There she got a good treatment and got better. Steve came to check on her. Joy thanked him so much for saving her life. It was nothing. But why were you staying in an uncompleted building? Don't you have a family? Steve asked, looking curious. Joy narrated everything about her life to Steve, who took pity on her. You can stay in my house with your daughter. You will be welcomed. It's not safe to stay in such an open place with your little girl, Steve said. Joy was overly happy. She couldn't believe that her little girl would start going to school again and would have a home. They moved in with Steve, who lived with his younger brother Sam and his younger sister Bella. Steve treated them like his own family. They never lacked anything. He enrolled Nikki in a good school. Nikki loved Steve like her father. Steve never joked with her or her mother. After some months, Steve completely changed to a different person. He started maltreating Joy together with her daughter Nikki. He would force Joy to his room and would take advantage of her. Anytime he feels like he needs the touch of a woman, he would sleep with Joy forcefully and hit her at the same time. This continued for a while. Nikki walked up to Steve. Uncle, why are you suddenly mistreating my mother and I? You were not like this before. What changed? Nikki asked with concern. Steve got angry and shouted at Nikki, "How dare you, little witch, to think that you can come in here to ask me stupid questions? Are you stupid? Come on, get out of here before I descend on you," Steve said angrily. Steve pulled Nikki out of school. Joy has begged Steve countless times to allow she and her daughter to leave, but Steve refused. He warned his siblings and the gate man to never allow them to leave the compound under no circumstance. Steve doesn't want his reputation ruined. One day, Steve came into Joy's room. Nikki was sitting on the bed. He forced Joy out of the room. Joy begged him not to take advantage of a little girl, but Steve fell on deaf ears. He forced Joy out and locked the room. Nikki was crying and pleading with him not to hurt her. Steve didn't listen. He raped Nikki and left the room. Nikki sat on the bed with tears streaming down her eyes. Joy was helpless. She could do nothing but console her daughter, crying bitterly. Steve didn't stop there. He continued sleeping with Nikki, scarring the young girl for life. Joy had tried running away from the house, but she was stopped. Bella felt sorry for Joy and her daughter, but her hands were tied. Sam wants them gone, but never felt sorry for them. He could have let them leave if it was in his hands. He was afraid of his brother. One fateful day, Joy was washing clothes outside the compound. Nikki was in the kitchen. She wanted to get water to drink. Steve came inside the kitchen. He tried getting close to Nikki. She pulled out a kitchen knife and stabbed him. Steve was still alive when Nikki ran out to meet her mom. Joy rushed to Nikki. "Nikki, what happened? Why are there blood in your hands and clothes?" Nikki led her to the kitchen, where Steve was lying lifelessly. This time, Steve was dead. Joy held the knife with blood in her hands and pushed her daughter aside. Sam came to the kitchen and saw what happened. The police came in and arrested Joy. When they left, Sam threw Nikki out of the house. Bella pleaded that Sam allowed the little girl to stay, but he was stubborn. Nikki wandered the streets, looking very sad. She was hit by a moving car. The man stepped down and took her to the hospital, where she received treatment. But unfortunately, she lost her memory. Mr. Emmanuel decided to take Nikki to his home to take care of her at least until she regains her memory. Mr. Emmanuel treated Nikki like his own daughter. After Joy narrated her story to the journalist, who came to question her, she heaved a sigh. "Don't worry, Joy. I will try to help you and gather evidence against Mr. Steve so that you will be vindicated from this crime. But why don't we include your daughter so that she can take the stand? Her testimonies will be very helpful to your case, as your case is still very weak," the journalist said with a concerned voice. Joy caught her in. "No, I don't want to get my daughter involved. I don't want her to remember how she was violated." She pleaded with the journalist to help her find her daughter and keep her safe. The journalist promised to help her and left. The journalist, Miss Blessing, met with Mr. Steve's ex-wife, Agnes. It happened that Steve had already been married before, but his wife left him. Blessing asked Agnes why she left Mr. Steve. She narrated to her how Steve used to hit her at every given opportunity and make her life miserable. When she couldn't take it anymore, she left him. Blessing told her what Mr. Steve did to Joy and Nikki and pleaded she testify against him. But Agnes refused, saying she doesn't want to get involved and start revisiting her past. Blessing pleaded, but to no avail. Joy was still in jail, awaiting her hearing in court. Blessing continued her search for Nikki. Nikki was sitting in the living room with Mr. Emmanuel when it was announced in the television that Joy committed the murder of an influential businessman, Mr. Steve, showcasing the pictures of Joy and Mr. Steve. When Nikki saw this, she looked bewildered. She started remembering everything and shouted, "Mom!" Mr. Emmanuel looked shocked. He asked Nikki who the woman was. Nikki told him everything and asked to be taken to her mom. Mr. Emmanuel took her to the police station to meet her mom. Joy was so happy to see her little girl. Fortunately, Blessing was there. Nikki said that she wants to testify against Mr. Steve, but Joy refused, saying she doesn't want her daughter in the stand, that she's ready to go to jail. Blessing convinced her that her daughter's statements will strengthen her case. On the day of the hearing, Joy was on stand. She was questioned. Her daughter was later brought up on the witness stand, where she was also questioned. She narrated what had happened from how she remembered it all. The judge gave 2 days to analyze the testimonies and give his judgments. On the day of the verdict, Joy was on stand. "I have analyzed the testimonies, but since there is no evidence to back your claims, I hereby sentence you to 20 years imprisonment," the judge said to Joy. Joy wept. Her daughter, Nikki, was also in tears. Immediately, a doctor and a forensic pathologist came in. They said that the knife that was used in the murder and was submitted as the murder weapon wasn't actually the murder weapon, as it was a different knife that killed Mr. Steve. The forensic pathologist said to the judge that a second knife was brought to them. They examined it and found out that the knife was actually used in killing Mr. Steve. The doctor also added that they ran a series of tests and examined Mr. Steve's body and found out that the fork knife was used at the stomach, but then he was still alive. But the second knife was struck directly at his heart many times, which resulted in his death. Bella, Steve's sister, revealed that she went to the kitchen to cook one day. She wanted to open a cupboard in the kitchen, but it wasn't opening. She found something and opened the cupboard and saw a knife with blood on it. She didn't touch it. She took her phone and called the police investigator in charge of the case. He took out the knife with a glove and placed it in a transparent bag and told her not to disclose it to anyone, which Bella agreed to. She felt bad for not defending Joy, despite knowing that she was telling the truth. Earlier on in the court, when Bella was asked if what Joy said about her elder brother was true, Bella denied it, saying that Steve never maltreated them. Her brother Sam warned her never to admit to the truth and say otherwise, unless she would be dealt with. Sam didn't want them to be implicated in the case, so they lied in court, subjecting Joy to be found guilty. Bella felt that it was the little way she could help her. Joy was vindicated. They were happy, she and her daughter Nikki. Joy also thanked Bella for helping her. "It's fine. You shouldn't thank me. I was wrong before." The police arrested Sam for the murder of his brother Steve. When he was brought to court, he was questioned about why he killed his brother. Sam revealed that one day he went to meet his girlfriend Anne. She needed lots of money to send her brother abroad and add to her business. Sam told her that he can't arrange that large sum as he was still working under his older brother. "You are not ashamed of yourself. What do you mean you can't arrange that sum? Haven't we talked about this and you promised to send me the money? So what are you saying now?" Anne said in anger. "Calm down. I will see what I can do," Sam replied. Anne gave him 24 hours to send the money or she will have to break up with him. Sam loved his girlfriend so much. He didn't want her to leave him, so he took the money from the company's account. He did it discreetly so that his brother wouldn't find out. Sam met with his girlfriend Anne. She was so happy. They were drinking, seated outside Steve's compound. Few minutes later, Steve stormed outside where they were drinking and laughing angrily. His face was red in anger. "Do you think I won't find out that you took a large sum of money from the company's account? Tell me, what did you do with that kind of money?" Steve said angrily. Sam told him that it was for a project. Steve stopped him there. He told him that there was no record of any project and he gave him 24 hours to return the money or he would deal with him. He left. Sam was scared. He didn't know where he would get the money from and give to his brother. He asked Anne to give him the money back, that he will find a way to return it. Anne was mad. "Is something wrong with you? What do you mean I should give you the money back?" Anne said. Sam pleaded with her, but she said that she has used the money already. Sam was going crazy. He didn't know what to do. Anne suggested that he kill his brother and he wouldn't have to pay back the money. Sam looked at her in disappointment. "How could you suggest I kill my own brother?" Anne snapped. "That is the only way, unless you want to be killed first by your brother for stealing his money," Anne said, without feeling any shred of concern. Sam think deeply on what Anne said. He had no courage to kill his own brother. One day, as he was passing by the kitchen, he saw Nikki, Joy's daughter, as she stabbed Steve and ran out of the kitchen. He hid by the corner so that no one would see him. He saw this as an opportunity to finish Steve off. He picked a knife and stabbed him at his heart and hid the knife away. After this review, the judge sentenced him to 30 years imprisonment. The moral lesson to be learned in this story is that we should be careful with our actions because they always have consequences, and no matter how hard we try to conceal the truth, it will always prevail. Thank you for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed the story. Please don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. It helps in growing our channel. If you enjoyed the story, please give it a thumbs up, comment, like, and share. Thank you and God bless. Bye.